holidays, Pisces. Welcome to your December. But let's see what we've got here. Pisces, challenge or focus? We have Ace of Cups reversed. So, some of you could be dealing with overcoming a disappointment, an emotional disappointment. For some of you, it could have to do with actually a vehicle or travel. A disagreement or communication that you receive, news that comes to you that's concerning or emotionally disappointing. So you could be trying to overcome that or, just dealing with that energy. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, and Rido here, this could have something to do with someone being pulled over, getting like a DUI, driving under the influence. And Pisces, hopefully that's not you. So I am going to caution you. December can be a month of holiday parties and celebrations, and, just make sure you're not overdoing it. You're not, and then getting behind a wheel, because it could end, and that's good advice for any month, but because that's coming up here. Now, for others of you, this may be someone else close to you that you find out is drinking again. They're involved in an accident, or, it's just bad news that, you get that they're, doing this. You're concerned about this person. That sort of energy. For some of you, maybe this is just a disappointment in love, in a relationship. You may find that you're disagreeing with someone that you have been dating, or that you are, in a relationship with, married to. There's just, maybe it's been a difficult time. And in December, there's just a lot of, it can be a month of watching your communication, because it's more likely that you kind of add fuel to the fire rather than reconcile. So, if you have had an argument with someone moving into December, it might be better to wait until the new year. December may not be the best month. We do have a Mercury retrograde, the planet of communication, going retrograde, so may not be the best time to reconcile, to come together. It may be better to wait and do that at the beginning of the year here. Now, as we move in the present situation, kind of the energy as we move from November into December, we've got Four of Rods. So this is talking about instability when it comes to home and family, instability when it comes to a relationship, to just issues, frustrations around the home. And there's a lot of travel runes going on, travel, movement. Some of you may have had some disappointing news regarding moving. Things may be delayed regarding that. For some of you, maybe that's what this is. It's you were hoping to move in December, hoping to be settled, and then there's a delay around this, or a delay around a relationship moving forward. But for some of you, there just may be delayed travel. Or you may not be able to go home for the holidays, or you may not be able to travel for the holidays because, you have to deal with other things, or you don't have the money, or maybe you're just not feeling up to it because this relationship has kind of knocked you for a loop. We'll see as we move along kind of what the advice is going to be here. But yeah, it may be it could be that you kind of get into an argument at the beginning of December with a family member, or with someone that you feel is, gossiping about things, or continuing to kind of stir the pot. We have Ansu's here in reverse. So that is the rune of communication, but it's in the reverse. So it is kind of like, someone gossiping, telling lies, telling, uh, someone who's giving biased advice. Um, and for many of you, this has to do with, it could have to do with a partnership. So maybe this is, people who don't approve of someone you're in a relationship with or someone you're dating, or you not approving of someone in the family's relationship, and maybe they're going to be traveling to, the holiday dinner, and you're kind of like, oh, I cannot deal with these people, or I don't want to deal with this, or, they're going to cause problems and cause arguments, that kind of an energy. But Pedro is here indicating that at the beginning of December, there may still be a lot of information to come out before that happens. So, yeah, you may not have all the information here at the beginning of December, Pisces. Maybe these people won't end up coming, or maybe there's news regarding this relationship. Some of you may be nervous about meeting the family of the person that you have been seeing, or vice versa. Maybe they're going to be meeting your family. They're coming to holiday dinner, and that's another thing, because another thing that's kind of got you, oh gosh, I hope my family doesn't behave like they normally do, because that's really going to embarrass me. Or I hope my family doesn't get drunk the way, drinks too much and got loud and out of control. That's another way this can work. But honestly, I feel like whatever this is, once you kind of walk through that door, you get the hard stuff out of the way. That's what they're saying. It's like if you're introducing someone new to the rest of the family, you're getting the hard stuff out of the way. Once that's over with, they're going to know what to expect in the future. And, but yeah, some of you, it just may be up in the air. Who's having holiday dinner? Are people coming here? Am I going to host it? Where are we going? That may be why this is there's this instability around home and family or a relationship. It's like we can't decide. Maybe people are fighting over, my parents want us to come here. Well, my parents want us to come here. And there can be this, conflicting energy, but you're going to work it out. You're going to work it out. You may have to compromise. You may have to, both people may have to compromise and give up something that they want here. But, in the reverse, we do have the Judgment card in reverse and Faehu in reverse coming up as a help to you, Pisces. So, I do feel like any kind of, maybe you feel like you've used poor judgment when it comes to money, but that's not the reality. There seems to be, when it comes to financial things, or a job that maybe fell through, or, maybe a promotion or a gig that you thought was no longer going to bring in money, turns out that it turns around in December, Pisces. Anything that does fall through or that isn't working, or if there is a judgment in a legal case that costs you money, anything like that, there could be, or something that you fear is going to cost you money, or that you're going to be sued for, or anything like that. You could find out in December that that's not going to happen. These fears could be unfounded. Some of you, this could be a job that you interview for that would require moving, and you interview for this in December, or you interviewed for it in November, and then you find out that someone else got it, that you didn't get this, and you may feel like, oh, well, that was a poor decision on their part. This is actually going to work out in your favor, because for whatever reason, it wouldn't end up being lucrative enough for you to either maybe pay the, survive in the cost of living wherever this location was, or it just wasn't going to, they weren't going to be paying you enough. So, and again, if you just maybe interviewed, you maybe didn't discuss salary, but it seems like the salary that came up wouldn't have been enough for you anyway. So anything that falls through, any offers that fall through, any sort of legal stuff that you may be concerned about. And especially anything that's unfair. This can also be like a decision that is unfair, a legal case or a legal decision that is unfair. And you will have options to, look at that or appeal that or, go a second step with that, at least, Pisces. So yeah, this is not a final decision for many of you. Now, what must be accepted about December? We have the Hermit. So many of you are going to be spending some time on your own, maybe hibernating a little bit in December, but I think that's because you're either hibernating with your honey. So that's a good sign. I do think many of you, whatever these disagreements are, you'll work it out. Maybe you decide, well, we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to stay home. We're just going to stay home and watch Christmas movies. We're just going to do things here. But many of you are working on a project. You are, and it's something that you're doing alone. You are, working on something close to your heart. Definitely creative. Definitely fulfilling. And this is whatever this is, whether it's will be a year where not only do you finish it, but there are stepping stones throughout the year of taking this to the next level, or maybe many levels. And often rods has to do with your passion, what you are fiery about, your gifts, your talents. This is what you really want to do for a living, as opposed to maybe what you've settled for or what you have been doing 9 to 5. This is really, I want to live the dream. I want to improve my circumstances. I know I don't want to be dependent on a company or anyone else for my money. I want to be liberated from all that, which is a very Piscean. You guys are at your best when you are in charge of your own destiny and your own creative vision. Other people tend to try to put you in a box or you have to work to fit their vision of whatever, a company is, or you have to follow the rules. And that's just not really your deal. It's not really your thing. So you're always at your best when you're running the show and maybe working alone, not necessarily managing others, because most of you don't really like that either. You'll do it if you have to, but you're not really a fan of that. You'd rather just be left the heck alone. And, able to, do what is fulfilling to you and not have to deal with naysayers, not have to deal with people who are disagreeing, so that you have to change your vision in some way. Because for you, it's kind of like anytime anybody wants you to change your vision or change the way a project is going or tweak this or do that, it like dilutes it. Every time that happens, it dilutes what it is you're trying to do, or your message, or your innovation. You feel like it's that they're narrow-minded. Because let's face it, you are the most expansive when it comes to thinking and seeing into the future and being innovative and inventive. And then people come in and say, oh, this is not possible. We got to, lop this off the plan. Or you can't do that because, these people will react this way. So we've got to change that. And yeah, it's just each time it's like they keep diluting the whiskey. You know what I mean? They keep adding more soda water to the whiskey here. So I feel like it may be taking longer for you to accomplish this on your own or do this on your own, but it's going to be worth it in the end, because it's going to be solid and exactly the way you wanted it, the way you envisioned it. You're almost done. And some of you may be waiting at the end of December, going back to the issues around the holidays or this disappointing news that maybe come up. You may be waiting for a battle or an argument that never comes, which is great. It may be kind of like a little bit unstable again, or there may be delayed travel or issues around moving. But it does seem like it's going to be worked out in the end. Like, things may things will get back on track. You have a lot of protection and you're going to have a lot of guidance and wisdom available to you. And just intuitively, you're going to feel like, maybe even though, okay, this deal fell through with this house, or, I didn't get this job, or, I didn't work that extra week, but I'm so glad I didn't because maybe you thought we're going to have to really struggle for money, and actually it's going to turn out okay. Maybe you get cash for Christmas as a gift, or, gift certificates that are going to help you, pay for things so that you have cash to pay bills. And, it was okay that you took that extra week off. So whatever you're worried about regarding money, regarding job loss, or, missing out on a home deal, some sort of disappointment, it's actually going to turn out to be okay. And the negative results that you're anticipating, or the way you think something's going to turn out in a negative way, is actually, it's not going to turn out that way at all. Some of you may be anticipating just arguments with family, disagreements, disappointments, and then that never comes to pass. Maybe this is just a fear that, there's going to be all this emotional baggage and stuff stirred up during December. And then it's like, it turns out, well, hey, that wasn't bad. That was maybe the best holiday we've had in a long time. I'm so glad, usually we fight like cats and dogs, and that didn't happen this time. So it really looks like Pisces, you're going to do well in December. Anything that falls through, or any judgments that are rendered that seem unfair, you're either going to have an opportunity to go back to the drawing board or go back and appeal this, or it's going to be for the better, or it's never going to happen. You're just going to feel like, oh, I was so concerned about this, but then that didn't come to pass at all. So that's what I see for December here, Pisces. Let me just see if there's anything else